There's a shot of my bread maker. I've had it for at least 10 years. Here's the pan that goes on the inside and the blade. Looks like that when it's assembled. We need a cup of milk.
I wanted to pour it.
Oh, sorry. We need 1 more tablespoon of milk. And we're gonna have 3 tablespoons of honey.
You're using all the honey.
We have more. What are you doing?
I want something.
No, I need this.
I want something to lick.
You what?
I want something to lick.
You get honey all over your hair. We've got 1 cup plus 1 tablespoon of milk, 3 tablespoons of honey. Now I'm adding 3 tablespoons of melted butter. When you're using a bread machine, you add all of the wet ingredients first, and in this recipe, the butter is the last wet ingredient that I will be adding. Dry ingredients are next. 3 cups of flour. The recipe calls for bread flour, and you can certainly use bread flour. I use all-purpose flour, and I think it still works great. So that's what I'm using right now, is all-purpose flour. Go ahead. 1, 2, oh my.
3.
Okay, there's, oh goodness. 1½ teaspoons of salt. Got the milk, honey, and butter on the bottom. Then I added the flour and salt on top. The last thing I need to do is add the yeast. And when you add yeast to a bread machine, most of the time it tells you to make a well with your finger in the middle of the dry ingredients. And I just pour my yeast right into the well that I made. I need 2 teaspoons. Okay, now my bread machine, the pan has a handle that makes it very easy. You just snap it in to the machine. This recipe is for a 1½ pound loaf on the basic bread setting. So when you plug it in, mine looks like this on the top, and over here says my basic bread setting is the first one, and if you look, it's already set on menu 1, so that's where I want it, but it is not set on the correct loaf size. So we're gonna push the loaf size button. Go ahead, Dixie, push it one more time. There's the 1½ pound loaf, and I can see that it's gonna take 3 hours and 18 minutes. And all that's left is to push the start button. And it will start mixing. What are we doing, Dixie?
Making bread.
What kind of bread?
Milk and honey bread.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
I'm still at the beginning stages of mixing here, but I noticed a while back that my bread seemed to be not mixed after it was baked, and so I learned that with my machine, right at the beginning stages of mixing, if I just take a spatula and clear the flour out of the edges, it mixes up better, and then I don't have dry flour on my completed loaf of bread. You just heard my machine beep, and all that's telling me is that if I wanted to add something like dried fruit or nuts to this bread, now would be the time to do it. I was out when the timer went off, so it went immediately to the warm feature. I generally try to catch it so that it doesn't do that because I worry about the bread drying out, but it's only been about 2 minutes since the timer went off, so we'll get it out and cooling on the rack. My bread machine came with this handy little tool. I'll try to turn that so you can see. I'll let it cool there on the drying rack. And when it's cool, I found that these rectangular shaped ice cream buckets are perfect for storing our bread. This milk and honey bread recipe isn't mine. I found it online, and I will include the link to that recipe either in the video description or in the comments below.